The RNT union says extra rail strikes are scheduled over the Christmas period. This comes after the rail union rejected an offer by their employers to stop the Christmas strike. Staff at Network Rail are expected to walk out from Christmas Eve until December 27th. Network Rail maintain the railways in the UK. The RMT represents rail industry workers at Network Rail as well as workers from train operating companies. The union is involved in two sets of talks in a long-running dispute over pay, jobs and working conditions. According to the union, the planned strike is set to go ahead. Rail employees in the UK have called for a strike 3 times this year. This includes the country's largest walkout in decades this summer. The unions are trying to lobby for higher pay amidst a cost of living crisis. Well, Alex joins me again now, and Alex, it seems to be a winter of discontent continuing, and this, of course, is going to cause huge disruption over the Christmas period.
Absolutely, and you've already said it's not just the rail strikes, but this one this week, in fact, with the 16th, 13th and 14th, then 16th and 17th, and now these new dates of 6 p.m. on Christmas Eve. Now, the RMT union, or the union behind the strike, have actually said, well, the trains don't run that much between the 24th and 27th, which is when the next strike action has been put in place. But what they do want to try and stop is working happening on the rails. So there's going to be disruption there to try and fix some of those rails that may have had that time when there is a bit of downtime on the rail. So they do want to cause all disruption. I understand as well from the RMT union that they've had a lot of businesses contacting them, asking them to stop these strikes, but they just keep pushing back and saying, well, you know, all we want is this pay rise. We want to make sure that our workers are safe. We don't want to have mandatory weekends. We don't want to have volunteer overtime. So these people that are getting the profits, the RDG, the Rail Delivery Group, Network Rail, they have over 20% profits year on year, and RMT are saying, well, we're only asking for pay rises in line with inflation. So they don't believe that no matter what they're putting in place, they should get any less than that. They rejected recently an offer of 8% pay rise, and for many people that's quite a lot of money, but that 8% pay rise did come with all of those rules in place about those overtimes, about the mandatory working, and also the RDG, the Rail Delivery Group, also want to close down some of the ticketed offices, so there would be less workers, and therefore the union believes if there's less workers, then there'll be more for those workers to do, and that's what they're trying to fight against. So it's not all about this pay rise, but when it comes to all of these strikes happening in the run-up to Christmas as well, people are getting very frustrated. They want to go to work, they want to see their families, they want a pay rise as well. And when they're seeing all of this strike action constantly happening, and now we understand that there's going to be more strikes, and it's going to be a coordinated attack of strikes, potentially with firefighters, nurses, ambulance workers as well. So a lot of strikes may happen all at one time. Their idea is to make sure the government does something quickly, but for the general public, it's going to be very frustrating on top of the cost of living crisis that everybody is facing as well. At the moment, there are talks still between the RMT union and the RDG and Network Rail, so there may be a change to the strike action coming over the next few weeks, and it may be that we won't see some of the strikes actions happen. But at the moment, it seems that Mick Lynch and RMT union are steadfast in making sure that there's as much disruption as possible to try and force the hand of those that they want to get the extra money for their workers.